everybody. It's Black Spring with Autumn on your Thursday. It's May 6th, and it looks like the world won't wait, and there are more demands from your favorite three-letter organization. Just a brief reel under coming right up. Good morning, and once again, welcome to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And this will definitely be a real under. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And once again, if you're not sure whether or not you're coming in, I thank you for considering coming in. And we have just a couple of stories and a little bit of an intense meme that I thought I might share with you. And we'll be right back after our usual housekeeping rules. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And yes, we're going to start with my original quote coming in, and it is, I called it "The World Won't Wait." And it looks like I'm specifically referring to what they were calling a CT, that would be a conspiracy theory. They're referring to this whole concept or this whole agenda or framework as a conspiracy theory for a long time. But I'm going to take you into that, and that's pertaining to the Great Reset. Also, it looks like we have more demands from BLM, and I do have a bit of an intense meme to share with you. I mean, I couldn't make this up, so I just had to share it. That's the next best thing to do. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with our first article. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Hope you guys are doing well on your Thursday. And I tell you, this week has flown by just like the one before. So I'm going to share that with you right now. All right, and this comes from Blaze Media. Okay, according to this, the Great Reset is about to become a law in Europe, and America could be next. So apparently, this is written by, or at least it's showing it's penned by Glenn Beck and Justin Haskins. As you can see here, we have a picture of our Drum roll, please. It's the climate czar, John Kerry. And I've talked to you guys quite a bit at like ad infinitum. Of course, I call it Groundhog's Day around here when it comes to the World Economic Forum, Schwab and his friends, and of course, Davos. So this looks like Kerry from earlier this year, or shortly after his appointment as the climate czar, in fact, where he used a jet to get to such meetings. So I'm going to be giving you some full scale on that. Look at that just a little bit. So I'm just going into a global, just checking in on the globalism for a second here. All right, citing concerns over climate change and the quote golden opportunity end quote for societal change created by the CV-19 pandemic, the World Economic Forum launched in June 2020 a radical quote great reset end quote initiative in partnership with various leaders from the public and private sectors. The CEOs of major corporations, as well as banks, central banks, financial institutions, labor unions, international organizations, and government leaders, including our climate czar, John Kerry, the Biden administration's quote climate czar, quickly signed on to the plan, which pledges to push the quote reset end quote button on the global economy. As the World Economic Forum head, Klaus Schwab, wrote in an op-ed about the Great Reset published in June, quote, the world must act jointly and swiftly to revamp all aspects of our society and economies, from education to social contracts and working conditions. Every country, from the United States to China, must participate. And every industry, from oil and gas to tech, must be transformed. In short, we need a quote great reset of capitalism end quote. Supporters of the Great Reset aim to alter the global economy through two different reform strategies. The first is to create a variety of new government programs, including policies similar to the far left Green New Deal resolution proposed in 2019 by New York Congresswoman, you got it, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and the Vermont Senator, you name it, Bernie Sanders. The second, even more far reaching part of the Great Reset is widespread adoption of environmental, social, and governance ESG standards, which change the way businesses are evaluated. Under an ESG model, companies are not only rated using traditional metrics such as revenues and the quality of goods and services offered, but also on a variety of social justice metrics such as their carbon footprint, air quality of business, supply chain, and having the quote right ratio of Asians to Hispanics working in the company, among many other factors. Thousands of companies have already adopted the ESG standards around the world, including an estimated 82% of large companies in the United States. And to this point, they have also they've done so voluntarily. There are a number of reasons why the Great Reset has caught on among the heads of the largest corporations in the United States and many of the planet's wealthiest financial institutions, not least of which is that there is a great deal of money invested in the ESG movement. The highly influential Principles for Responsible Investment Group claims investors controlling more than $100 trillion in wealth have already agreed to funnel immense amounts of cash into businesses that support ESG systems. But supporters of the cause have also routinely suggested that voluntary ESG standards could soon become government mandates, and thus smart businesses are better off getting on government's good side now before the regulatory hammer drops. It appears that those warnings could soon become a reality in Europe. On March 10th, the European Parliament voted in favor of a resolution that demands all large corporations in the European Union, as well as some smaller businesses, put ESG standards in place or else face harsh penalties from their respective national governments. Although the resolution passed by the European Parliament is not yet binding on EU member states, it is a strong sign that it is likely to occur. In order for the resolution to become binding, the European Commission must first formally propose the resolution as legislation, and then the Parliament and member states must vote in favor of the legislation. This is a move that seems highly likely to occur due to the overwhelming support for the resolution in the EU Parliament. The Commission is expected to provide official legislation as early as June 2021. According to international law firm Shearman and Sterling, the quote proposed due diligence framework targets three categories of potential and or actual adverse impacts, end quote, including quote human rights, the environment, and good governance. Quote good governance. These categories are deliberately broad and would in many cases require businesses to make sweeping reforms to align with left-wing goals, imposing them on societies in which they operate. For example, the quote, human rights in quote category means any potential or actual adverse impact that may impair the full enjoyment of human rights by individuals or groups of individuals in relation to human rights, including social worker and trade union rights. Protecting the environment would involve, according to Shearman and Sterling, quote, the right to a safe, clean, healthy, sustainable, and biodiverse environment, end quote, as defined by, quote, internationally recognized and EU environmental standards. Further, the resolution demands that business, end quote, strategy should be aligned with the European Green Deal and the commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by at least 55% by 2030 and Union international policy, especially the Convention on Biological Diversity and the Paris Agreement, end quote, among other standards. Perhaps most importantly for Americans and US businesses, the Parliament's resolution calls for these ESG requirements to cover all of a business's activities, including its quote value chain, end quote. The quote value chain, end quote, is defined in the resolutions as, quote, all activities, operations, business relationships, and investment chains of an undertaking and includes entities with which the undertaking has a direct or indirect business relationship, upstream and downstream, which either A, supply products, parts of products or services that contribute to the undertaking's own products or services, or B, receive products or services from the undertaking, end quote. Or put it simply, if an American company wants to do business in the European Union with any of the European Union large businesses, it will also have to have ESG standards of its own, or it will at least be contractually obligated to adopt policies in line with European ESG mandates. The Shearman and Sterling law firm confirms this interpretation of the resolution in its report, in which it wrote, quote, a company therefore will have to make all efforts within its means to ensure that its business partners, both direct and indirect, and upstream and downstream, have in place human rights, environmental, and good governance policies that are in line with the company's obligation of due diligence, end quote. The Great Reset is about to become the law of the land throughout most of Europe and is highly likely that if the European Commission passes legislation comparable to the resolution already approved by Parliament, it will, in effect, become the law for many of the largest corporations in the United States. A spectacularly disastrous development that will impose left-wing ideological changes to society on all Americans, whether they want them or not. Do you guys see that coming? Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming in for this Real Under. And so we were talking about basically, essentially the Great Reset. And to me, we've talked about this. I talk about this all the time. I say Groundhog's Day is real here. And I should say good morning to everyone. You guys snuck in here. I really appreciate it. You guys kind of just tiptoed in here really quickly. Asian Fidel, good morning to you. Thank you. You have coffee, and I have an empty can of La Croix, or some people LaCroix, empty. But I do have water. I do have some flat water here. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. You're inspiring me with a coffee there. Dr. Fish, good morning to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Fish, who says, hit the like button. Cooking in a Mo, how are you? Good morning. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So it's funny how all of these global initiatives, they say, oh, it's not binding. It's not binding, but you do know you will be, for the lack of a better word, can I say, you'll probably be T-boned by all of these corporations and all of these elite and of course, the party of Davos, of course. So Yes, Klaus Schwab has basically challenged the entire world to get on board with his GR, as well as what I've referred to as of course, the fourth industrial revolution. So I think we've talked about what that means economically. We've already talked about, they flashed the preview for the last at least 2 years or more of the Green New Deal. And then, of course, you see the corporations leaning in on all of these initiatives at different segments. We've talked about the ESGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. All of this is under the umbrella of the UN agenda. So these things are just they're not manifesting, or they're not materializing just out of thin air. It's not. And anybody that tries to convince you of that, they're being completely disingenuous. So like I say, I tell you guys, there's always a blueprint on the World Economic Forum. And that was founded, of course, by Klaus Schwab. And yeah, so lots of challenges out there. We've talked about the effects of the economy, that even HR 9, that is the Paris Agreement, the Paris Accord, which is generally it's going to be a fixed economy that will affect supply and demand. Now, that's my assertion. Feel free to reprove, do what you do around here. I really appreciate that. We can accept that around here. And good morning to Jermaine G and Zero the Infinite. And before I continue, I'm going to give just a second, a break, a little bit of a Twitch honor roll. And I think this would be a perfect time to show you guys something that I thought was pretty incredible coming out of the, dare I say, can I say the CVidians? I don't know if you see somebody like this in a store, or I don't know. I'm going to be right back. I don't want to spill the beans too much, but I appreciate you guys for coming in as per usual. And this is going to be a quick reel under, and then I'm going to dash out of here. I appreciate you guys so much. We'll be right back, and we'll have a little bit of a palate cleanser that might make you smile. We don't laugh enough around here, so I thought it was a laugh. It was a little bit of some humor there, but we'll see what you think about it. I'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the little bit of, it's a short clip, so hold on. If you blink, you'll miss it. And good morning to Zero the Infinite. Good morning to you. And Predem is here. Predem, that's a great name. Predem says, I agree. Predem, thank you so much for coming in. I assume you might be referring to something that I mentioned before going to that break, but I'm going to show you something that I stumbled onto yesterday, and hopefully it's still there. So just hang on really quickly here. Hang on for me. And I'm going to share that clip with you. And I almost made it in. Absolutely. Predem says times are too serious to laugh. Yeah, I have a friend, he says, well, sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying. So let's go with that. We'll go with that just for now. Shout out to my friend, high school friend, long time, like even beyond, like before high school. So that's a long time there. So I'm going to share this with you. So Hope you guys are ready. I hope you're sitting down. And I hope this is still around for you. All right. Okay. So this is from somebody out of the this is from somebody over on the tweeters. I took the dive, by the way. It's Black Spring with Autumn, and my username is at real Black Spring. So if you want to tweet and chop it up over there. But yeah, so let's go to this is coming from somebody else, another Twitter account. So let me just show you this. It's entitled, quote, "It's a cult," end quote. All right, so I'm going to give you guys full scale on this. I think this one deserves full scale, so let's go with it. And I hope you're ready. So I'm going to give you guys full screen here so you get the full effects of this one. Okay, I'm already laughing. Okay, I'll stop. All right, here we are. I don't know. I don't know if you guys were able to see that one out, but I'm going to play it one more time just for anybody, any stragglers, anybody that might just be coming in from the back here. So, I mean, which when I think about it, it just makes me laugh. But here you go. Everybody, what do they say? Everybody manages things differently. So, here we go. I don't know. Maybe you'll construct one of these for yourself to get around. Yeah, maybe you'll do that for yourself. But here we go. Okay, I just wanted to know. I just want to see if you guys are able to see what I'm seeing. I just want to make sure that I'm not. Am I being cruel, or am I being just insensitive to the fear? But I don't know how she came up with the. I don't know how she came up with the device like that. Good morning to John H. Roberts Jr. Good morning to you. He says, "I can't unsee it." Okay, so just one more time. Okay, so the third time's a charm, right? Third time. All right. All right, one more time for the insanity, and then we will end with some demands from your favorite three-letter organization. And I'm not talking about, we're into letters and alphabets these days. I didn't say the letter 17 or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and give you the full scale one more time for old time's sake, right? Here we go. Let me know if you've seen one of these. Okay. All right. So, if that's not breaking you up, I don't know. Maybe you haven't gotten out in a while. So, yeah. So, yeah. So as you can see, I don't know. It almost looks like she needed a tour guide. It's like she's in her own world, yet she's created this new world for herself, but yet she needs a tour guide in the old world. But she needs, in order to keep her little device going, to safely navigate around the store, she needs help. I don't know. It looks like somebody was trying to help her steer the thing. I don't know. Okay. So good morning, you guys. So let me go ahead and read a comment. All right. Let me read some comments here because I got to move us on here to the next. I got to move us on to the next one. But I'm so glad you guys came in. Yeah. Okay. So Predem says times are too serious to laugh. Just kidding. And all right, Zero to Infinite says YT had got me for proving that the US had the patent for the whoa for the V that must not be named, and mentioning the drug that would be the counter. So I will have to wait until Monday to post. So Twitch, I go, oh no, hang in there. I appreciate you. There you go. Yeah, see, I tell you what, I think I'm rubbing off on you. Maybe I'm a bad influence after all. I'm corrupting my viewers. Pre-dem says, wow, really? I mean, I don't know. Who knows what you're going to see? Thank you guys so much for coming in. And Zero the Infinite says, talking about being put in a box. That's what I'm thinking. And Zero the Infinite says she needs an adult. And Joseph Francis Burton, good morning to you. He says, that does it. Next time I go to the Piggly Wiggly, I'm rolling myself up in giant wads of bubble wrap and duct tape. You know, whatever you need, you know, I don't know. I think we're losing them. We're losing them. Call 911. We're losing them, you know, and tell them what to bring when you come. Yeah. It's there. We're self-medicating right now. So just tell them what to bring when they show up. Okay. And the pre-dem says if the virus is really an airborne, then that would be a death trap. And Zero the Infinite says, I'm naturally rebellious anyway. You're not the blame. Hi, Marcy T. Good morning to you. All right, guys, you guys are killing me. I don't know if you, I might play that again at the end, at the close of the stream, just for good measure. Okay, so let me get you guys into the final on this little brief here. I do apologize, I'm late because I was going to be in much earlier, you know, but so I could do more. But right now, if that's true, Jermaine G, then I will play it one more time. Marcy T, good morning, welcome in, and we're going to do it for one more time for Marcy T, and then I'm going to do the more demands from the BLM. So yeah, it looks like some things are kind of falling apart for these progressives. I don't know. This looks like they're running out of steam. It looks like a lot of these, the you know, defund the police situation. It looks like that's falling apart. Some things are falling apart, but what's the opposing team doing? What are the Republicans doing? I mean, I don't want to hear about the great book they have coming out, or I don't want to hear about, you know, oh man, I'm going to be on, you know, a talk show. You know, I don't want to hear about it. Okay, but I digress. We're going to go ahead and go back to that wonky clip, and then we'll hit the demands, and then we're out of here because I've got to scoot. All right, guys, thank you so much. See, there you go, Marcy T. All right, so here we are one more time for the craziness. All right, the crazy makers. All right, so this was entitled "It's a Cult," and yeah, it's worse than it's looking like Jim Jones, you know, Jonestown, right? It really is. Okay, so here we go. One more time. Okay, there again, let me correct. Let's do a correction here. All right, so I have to correct myself in that situation. Apparently that was the videographer. Somebody was videotaping her doing that. So she wasn't getting a tour. She wasn't getting a tour or anything. She didn't have an assistant or a chaperone. That was the videographer there doing the, you know, getting her around the corner. So I don't even know how you get that into your vehicle. I mean, even if you have a hatchback, it's you got to strap it down, right? You got to strap it down, right? Okay, so let me move on. We're not dealing with Christmas trees. That looks like Walmart to me. So I guess they'll file that under the people of Walmart. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And we have one more for you, and then I have to get out of here. I know I promised a stream last night, but I just time flew by and just just got overwhelmed. But however, all right, so we're gonna remove that, and we're gonna go to our last piece here. And as Jermaine G says, it's foldable. All right. Okay, so we're gonna take you to the last one. It looks like we've got more demands. I don't know. I dare I say that maybe this regime, they're falling apart. Their little auxiliaries and everything is starting to fall apart right now. So it looks like we have something from the Gateway Pundit. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And I had to start out with something a little, you know, I didn't quite start out with it. I gave you something serious, and then okay. All right, so back to our BLM. Okay. Back to the demands, right? Good morning, Killer Whale Channels. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So we will be in and out, and wrapping up here just shortly. And so we're going to go to our story here. And it looks like BLM has got some more demands for you. All right, according to this, the Black Lives Matter Marxists released a new list of demands, includes a complete defunding of police and banning Mr. T from future office just because. Not to mention, they've deplatformed more people. I don't have time to get into that one, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. So who knows? Maybe I'll come back later if I have time. Yeah, just I have to my car. I have to take it in to the dealership today. But I love my car, so I can't say. Yeah, I'll talk about it later. It doesn't matter, but yeah, you have to treat your car well every now and then. Get a wash and some other things to it. Do talk to your car. I don't know. My grandmother used to talk to her plants. My late grandmother used to talk to her plants, and that's the same thing with the car. You have to talk to my car, or pet her on the steering wheel. Tell her she's the best because she is. It's their problem. They have bad batches of parts. All right, guys. Sorry for the digression there. Okay. But I will be back if possible. However, the list that was published on the Black Lives Matter website includes the complete defunding of police and convincing Trump and banning Trump from office in the future. All right. BLM goes on to say police were born out of slave patrols and were based on white supremacy. This is pure insanity. Democrats are openly promoting the breakdown of civil society. All right. So, you know what? I think this is a little bit old, right? We're kind of Groundhog's Day around here. The Gateway Pundit. We already know. We're on with BLM. So there's the demands. I'll list them. You guys can dig into them yourselves. You can deep dive them yourself. According to this, these are the BLM demands. BLM's 7 demands. 1, convict and ban Trump from future. Sorry, there's my alarm. Convict and ban Trump from future political office. So, you had your little entourage. We talked about this before. We talked about the members of the squad. They're new. The fifth wheel rep, Cori Bush, the new rep, Jamal Bowman. Okay, we see this is not quite new business. So we'll see what they're on about. Expel Republican members of Congress who attempted to overturn the E and incited a white supremacist attack. Launch a full investigation into the ties between white supremacists and the Capitol Police, law enforcement, and the military. Permanently ban Trump from all digital media platforms. Defund the police. Don't let the coup be used as an excuse to crack down on our movement. And 7, pass the Breathe Act. Okay, so there you go. That, I'm wondering, they can't be serious. Okay, well, Gateway Pundit, kudos to you, but these are not new demands. I don't think these are exactly new demands. Maybe they've expanded a little bit on the demands, but to say that they're new demands, I don't think so. All right. So I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. And there are so many things that are happening, nationwide or whatnot. But I think a lot of this stuff is starting to fall apart, whether it's a verdict or whatnot. And no matter how people internalize it, I think that the wins are going to start to look like losses, and they're going to look like they've been duped by the alphabet media. So sorry, I'm going to read a few comments and I'm going to get out of here. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and coming in for the Crazy Maker show. So I have a couple of comments here. Marcy T says, yes, let's do exactly what these nut jobs say. Orange Man Bad. Zero the Infinite says, I heard that talking to plants was the reason that George Washington Carver found so many uses for plants that he patented. But I don't know. Maybe it's worked. I think I had a plant that I bought once upon a time, and the plant was, they're going to throw it away. I think it was like $1 or something, and I took it out and I revived it, and I did talk to the plant, but the plant grew. The plant lasted for like 10 years until I changed the ecosystem and The poor thing didn't survive that. So, I think there's something to be said. I don't know if it's carbon dioxide. I don't know. But I don't know. But, it's like talk to your plants, talk to your car. I don't know. Maybe we're just a little bit, I just want to encourage, give your car extra support or whatever. But it's like maintenance and then some other stuff. Um, but yeah, but if you, as they say, if you treat your car great or you're good to your car will be good to you. I just think I think that's just a natural rule. However, Marcy T says, you even say Mr. T jail for life. And Marcy T says, I agree. All right. So yeah, I think some of these things are starting to lose steam. And yeah, I really do. So it says defund the police and leave them with only a baton. Yeah, I guess they're going to follow the British or the UK model. I we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. Or maybe they'll suggest if somebody comes after you, or if somebody's doing something, that you run, that the cops run. Maybe that's what they'll say next. Who knows? I really appreciate you guys for coming in. And Zero the Infinite says plants react to sound and can be affected. It's been scientifically proven. Oh, that's interesting. Zero the Infinite. Which I don't know if anybody out there has any has a greenhouse of their own, but a friend of mine sent me like a jar of like preserves or whatnot from the garden, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was really fantastic. So it's a little bit inspiring in these times to have people harvesting the fruits of the greenhouses and their gardens right about now. And yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah, I mean the whole canning and the preserves and all those things. I mean, I grew up around that, and I probably get into a little bit of it myself. Yeah, I just need some mason jars, and a couple of other things. All right, guys, so we're gonna get out of here, and maybe I'll be back later. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but I have to. This is something I have to do because I'm going to go on a long trip, on an extended trip, on a permanent vacation, and I need my vehicle to be working in top condition and optimal condition. So we'll see what they say today. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next live stream in the comment section on another sunrise or night cue, moonlight stream, a video in the comment section. And have a great rest of your Thursday, and watch out for those rolling devices. All right, guys, thanks so much.